Why does the Bailey model use the phrase Aryan race? Isn't it bad to talk about Aryans? The short answer to this very important question is yes and no. The use of the word Aryan can be a bad thing, but it is not bad for the reasons most people might suppose. In the Bailey model, we talk about the evolution of the human family as they grow from a sense of personal selfishness and separativeness to a greater sense of love, inclusivity, wisdom, and compassion. To help distinguish the various levels of growth in human consciousness, certain names are given for each stage of growth. Lemurian is the name given for when human beings were more primitive and focused on developing their physical bodies and mastering their physical environments. Atlantean is the name given for when humans move on to the emotional plane and are more heavily focused on their desires for money, sex, pleasure, and power and ways to achieve that. And to let you know, that is where most of humanity is now. And Aryan is a name given for when humanity shifts onto the mental plane, which humanity is just starting to do, where it will be finally focused on developing primarily their minds. Now, each of these stages, Lemurian, Atlantean, and Aryan, have positive and negative aspects to them. On the positive side, Lemurians, we might say, help to develop a keen connection to nature and a refined instinctual sense of how to feel connected to Mother Earth and how to move about the Earth in a harmonious way. And those are important lessons we need to keep and not forget. Atlanteans have a tremendous capacity to develop familial and tribal groups, to build communities, and use the environment to their advantage to gain more leisure time, preparing the way for mental development. And again, we see that that is what has happened to the human race, the one that most of us live in now. And the Aryan race, which is just emerging, will have enough free time with their basic needs met that mental development is what they will put their focus on so that they can expand their understanding of who they are and what kind of universe they live in and what the purpose for humanity is within our overall cosmos. The negative sides of these stages might also be as follows. As Lemurians have struggled for survival, they were not able to expand their sense of connection beyond a limited few people, since resources were too scarce and there was too much competition for what existed. They also had to keep on the move in order to survive, and they died at a fairly young age. Atlanteans, again, which is most of us, too often fail to maintain the valuable lessons of the Lemurians of staying connected to Mother Earth in a harmonious way as they move into large groups like city-states. They also shift into a stronger craving for power, and that allows them to become more exploitative than they should be as they seek to exploit Mother Earth's resources so that they can feed their insatiable desires. And we are seeing the problems of that around us everywhere now as a human family. So what is the emerging downside of the Aryan race that is coming into being? We are already starting to see it. As the mental body grows, it becomes disconnected and divorced not only from nature, but also from community and even from connection to and loving fellowship with other human beings. We see that the emphasis on alternative realities and mobile phones and video games is starting to have this happen. We also see how that mind can become overly detached, critical, manipulative, and exploitative. And this is where the danger comes from. This is where mind becomes divorced from love. And that is how Nazi Germany and their so-called Aryan race were able to do the horrendous things that they did as they focused in mind and not in love. And we see those dangers even now with the emphasis increasingly on technology and what it can give us and how it becomes divorced from love, compassion, inclusivity, and so forth. Now, the Aryan race is going to emerge no matter what. Hitler didn't need to try and make it come into being. It's coming. But sadly, Hitler and those who follow the Nazi principles like him represent a very dark and negative potential for the entire Aryan race that is emerging, which the human family overall will have to confront. Why? Because overall we're meant to go into the higher mental plane, the plane of the solar angel, and above that into the intuitional or Buddhic plane, where the soul values and the values of compassion, love, inclusivity are what humanity develops overall. So in short, the Bailey teachings do talk about the Aryan race because it is the race that humanity is developing into. But it is up to all of us to become more familiar with the benefits and pitfalls of the development of the Aryan race so we can avoid the worst and cultivate the best to come. Open up a world beyond just this video. Join our community. Join for free or subscribe for even more content and receive copies of charts of the model we work with, access to hundreds of videos and posts, ebooks explaining this teaching in more detail, merchandise seen to the left, and you can become a patron at patreon.com/Soul to Spirit. Look for the screen at the bottom right and you'll find the right channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, hit the bell for alerts, and most of all, thanks for watching.